All right. Hello, our fans and audience members. We're back with another Ivy Live session. Ran into some technical issues again, so this is not being presented live. And unfortunately, we had to record it and we're posting it here, but there's still the chat option available. So if you have questions, we will respond to them. Post your questions in here. Let us know. We'll put some contact information out if you do have questions so we can help you out getting enrolled and moving forward in your process. But today, we are going to talk about some of our sites. So if you're not familiar, Ivy Tech, we've talked about before, is across the entire state. The way we help support our community and our region is that there are campuses and then there are sites. So we'll talk a little bit about what that means today. As always, Joe Binkley, Director of Admissions here at the Evansville campus. And today we have John and Katie. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves and where they're at, and then we'll jump right into it. Ladies first, as always. Katie, introduce yourself, share a little bit of information you want people to know, and then when you're done, we'll pass off to John.
Hey, thanks, Joe. My name is Katie King. I'm the new site director here for the Tell City Career and Technology Center. This is my 11th day on the job, so I'm really learning on the fly here, but it's been great so far. I actually was previously an Ivy Tech student. I took classes in this building, and it was a great stop for me on my educational journey. So I grew up in Spencer County, which is next to Perry County where we are, but I live here. I've been here for a lot of years, and this is my home and my community, and I'm just really glad to be a part of Ivy Tech and the big presence it has here in our community.
All right, John.
All right, I'm John Snowden. I'm the site director at the Princeton Career and Technology Center, and I've been with Ivy Tech since 2015. Was brought in as the mining program director for the college, created the mining program from scratch, recreated the mining program from scratch. We had it in previous decades, it's not for quite a few years, and became the site director here at Princeton about a year and a half ago, and been doing it ever since. Originally from Terre Haute, still from Terre Haute. Long drive every day. That's all I've got.
Commitment. All right. So, the big thing we talked about at the beginning is sites versus campus. And John, since you've been here longest to be able to talk a little bit more about it, we'll let you take this one. What is the difference? What's the difference between a site and a campus?
Well, first and foremost, the size. We've got the main campuses throughout the state. Not all the main campuses have satellite sites, but we are fortunate in Region 12 to have two, one in Princeton and one in Tell City. And basically you're talking about a 10 county service area coming out of Region 12. And like for myself, we carry the northern 4 counties of the Region 12 area. So we're taking care of Knox and Gibson, Davies, and Pike from here. And Katie, if you'd like to explain what you're doing over there to the southeast.
Yeah, so we are here in Perry County, which is, we're located in Tell City, but Perry County is large and encompasses several little small towns here. And then Spencer County is our next door neighbor. We partner with them. Also, a lot of the community businesses there, the schools and things. And we're also really close to Du Bois and Crawford County.
Then basically to follow that up, it would be just the number of options that we can offer. We are limited. We don't have all the necessary labs to complete full associate's degrees in all departments. But one of the goals, my primary goals, and hopefully we can do this with Tell City also, we do have the ability to offer the majority of a first year of an associate's degree with all the core supporting classes, maths, Englishes, sciences, those types of things. Without the specialty labs, we can't offer those. And then basically both of our sites, I'm not going to try to speak for Katie, but both of our sites will lead into that. We both have full-fledged state-of-the-art welding labs, for example. So there are technical degree or technical certificates and onward to more technical type degrees that you can actually take classes on our sites also. So that's it basically in a nutshell. Jumping ahead on some of the things that we might talk about later, I promote or try to promote as much as possible that we have a lot better capability of a one-on-one experience where you're coming in, where you may not be looked at quite as closely on the main campus simply because of the sheer numbers of students that come through the offices on a daily basis. While we don't have the staff that the main campuses do, we do have the ability to set time aside and do some one-on-one work support-wise with the incoming students. And then while they're here, that's another thing. Class sizes, people concerned about those. A lot of times are smaller at the smaller sites, the satellite sites as we call them. So some of the more personalized experience, I guess, maybe a transition for someone who's not coming from a large high school experience and may not feel comfortable necessarily going into a large campus site right off the get-go. It's a good transition spot where you can build up into your college career instead of being thrown right straight to it. Those are the kind of things that we look at here at the satellite sites.
Outstanding. And the thing I really appreciate about the sites is that because of where you're physically located, the partnership within those communities are much stronger. And in the same way, the campus here is well established in the Evansville, Vanderbilt County area. We can't always get as far out into the reach in those surrounding counties like the two of you can. Are there any particular partnerships that you're especially proud of or more recent that you want to let people know about? And Katie, I know you're newer, so if you're not 100% sure, we'll start with you if you're not sure, and then we'll go to John.
No, that is one thing that I love about this and being involved in the community. I see Ivy Tech's presence everywhere. We have some really big industry here in Perry County, Spencer County. So some of the companies that we're partnering with right now is Wilpaca. They have partnered with AK Steel, and we have several of their employees that come in for manufacturing maintenance program. We partnered with them. We designed the program. It fits exactly what they need their employees to know. So again, that's just another example of Ivy Tech kind of stepping into the community and these smaller sites and partnering with the businesses, figuring out what we need and what resources Ivy Tech has and making those connections happen.
We kind of do the same thing here in Gibson County. Of course, we have Toyota, so we do quite a few things with them, externally and internally. As a matter of fact, we actually house one of the assessment centers for their maintenance department in our building. We also partner with them in community activities and initiatives. We got the 4T program going on at Princeton Community High School right now, which is all the Gibson County high schools and Toyota partnering together for Manufacturing Academy, which is really extraordinary. We have a tendency to be the ones building these curriculums behind the scenes for things like that. We also use or partner with the high school. They house one of our labs, CNA lab, for certified nursing assistant. And we do the curriculum for that also. We built the lab with them internally in the high school. And we also use it in the evenings for our adult classes. So we've got different avenues where we try to get involved with community outreach beyond that. Not all the high schools, for example, have all the dual credit availability that others would. So they actually are busing students from one high school to another to be able to participate in some of those activities. That's kind of cool. So we can actually touch on all of them without them having to go to each one of the schools to have to do that. We also, economic development committees, chambers of commerce, partners with those, thriving members, you name it, anytime. We try to be a community center as much as possible here. We have multiple groups. We have Work One in both of our sites, Katie's site and ours. That is a big deal for us here, especially in the age that we're in right now. They've been fairly busy, as you can imagine. We also have adult basic education in our building. So we partnered with DU to be able to allow them in here to offer those classes. So we have all these things going on at the same time, in addition to our regular course offerings.
And Katie, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't the CDL program start out?
Yeah, sorry, I missed a couple
No,
pieces.
no, I'm trying to remember myself. So I think that's
We
one of
have,
the newer
yeah,
ones.
we have a CDL program. It's actually being done at the Port Authority. Their parking lot's a little bigger, a little safer for new drivers. And so the high schools also are bringing in a lot of students here. So we have students from Tell City and Heritage Hills. We also work with Cannleton students, Perry Central students, and we're hoping to expand that even further. And a lot of those students are taking dual credit classes in their high school. And so they take classes during the day. Some of them come here and take advantage of our instructors. And then some of them take classes at night. So a lot of these high school students are graduating from high school with almost or close to, a technical certificate or something that that they've, duly done while they were in high school. So we definitely push those programs through the schools. The Perry County Development Corporation is a big backer for us. They help us, connect with those people that need our help. And we work with them to just do whatever we can, like John said, be a community center, be a hub for what the community needs, bring in resources, and try to take advantage of the huge network that Ivy Tech has. This Tell City site kind of connects that network with our little bitty communities here. So
Absolutely. And so, we're getting close to, we're still in what we consider the fall semester for those watching at home. A newer opportunity that's been put out there are 8-week courses. Next week on IvyLIVE, we're going to talk more in depth about 8-week courses. But essentially, those are courses that the content is covered within 8 weeks, but the format and the way that learning is happening has been adjusted and modified to be appropriate for an 8-week model. That's a really short version. So next week on Tuesday at 2, we will talk about that and the different type of course modalities. So the virtual and the internet and the in-person and the hybrid and all those kind of languages that we use around. But there are 8-week courses that start October 26th, both here at the main campus, but also at some of our sites. So John, your turn. We'll kind of pass it back to you. Are there any courses starting in October that you want to let people know about? Or what in general, if not, what kind of general courses are offered? I know you talked a little bit about the general eds earlier.
Well, this particular 8 weeks, we're offering specifically, we've got, health, yeah, duh. Medical terminology. Gee, I kept wanting to say healthcare terminology. Right? Medical terminology in the CNA program that still has seats available. We're limited on what we offered the second 8 weeks. One of the things that we would do on the 8 weeks is our welding classes. We put those through because typically each initial welding class has a mate that is an advanced welding class. So you can take one of them in the first 8 weeks, the second one in the second 8 weeks. We could offer those back to back, and it takes up your typical 16-week semester. Not trying to get too far ahead of it, but basically you're doubling up the contact days in the week to be able to get through it that in half the time. So for those who don't want to stretch this, degree program out to beyond the 2 years especially, then these are good options for folks. And with the more and more virtual and online classes that are available, the 8 weeks are easier to give and receive. More time at home if we're in lockdown, things like that. So as long as you've got the connections to be able to do those classes, then the 8 weeks are good options for folks. And typically we do the same thing with a lot of our general ed classes: communications, English, math. The stronger students, the ones who don't need the one-on-one attention as much, can get through the 8-week classes fairly quickly.
Yeah, Kate, what are you offering?
so this upcoming 8-week course, we have another CNA preparation course. So I'm in the CNA lab now. I am, for anybody that wants to comment and suggest names for our dummy, I'm taking suggestions today. I don't know, he kind of looks like a Fred or George to me, but maybe I'm wrong. And then this cart here next to me here, this is a part of our QMA program that we're launching in January. So the cool thing about the QMA is it's kind of like the next step in the healthcare journey. So you start as a CNA, work to a QMA. So we are launching that in January. We'll have that available here. But in October, we start another CNA class, which we do have several people coming in this week. So if you're interested, you want to get up for that. We also have a basic electricity course that's starting on an 8-week term. So that'll start again in October and just run the 8 weeks. And then we have access to, all the live streaming courses. You said your next IvyLIVE is going to cover the different modalities. And boy, that's ever changing. But, we have the space and we have the technology here. So if a student, had a busy home or needed some peace and quiet, or even somebody that, didn't have the resources like a laptop or internet connection, if you're an Ivy Tech student, this building is open and available to you to use anytime. So these Learn Anywhere classes, we can set those up in any one of our classrooms and you can stream the instructor right here on our site. So please, if that's something that you need, make sure that, you take advantage of this side or the Princeton side or any of those resources that we have that are, closest to you.
I would just add on that, if you are looking for classes and you can't find those types of options available on the course search, please call the sites and ask questions, because it may not be the easiest thing to recognize. This is new for everybody. We're dealing with things as they come to us. But if there's a virtual option out there and if you're interested in one and you're not seeing it, please call and ask, because we're getting the information from the actual deans on a daily basis, what can be offered and what can't. So there's a good chance that even if it's not available on the course search, there is a way for us to stream that class in these satellite sites from the main campus. And for those who don't have the technology, as Katie said, or can't make the trip, they don't have the resources to travel to main campus multiple times a week, we are here for that. We're going to offer up our buildings, our classrooms, our computers for that use. So please reach out and make those phone calls to find out what is available that can be live streamed.
Yeah, that's another great thing about the sites, I think, is the flexibility you have and the intentionality about serving the community, which you've stated in a lot of different ways already. And I think that, again, just emphasizes that opportunity. Communication is a big piece. And if you live in those areas and you want to take classes out there, talk to these folks because they don't always get to hear that. The information doesn't always, there's no way that's tracked. So if they don't hear from the community saying we need this or we want this, they don't know how to offer it always. But they're working with industry all the time to try to get connected and being very intentional about what the demands of the industry in the area are to try to offer those courses and those programs, working with companies to create specialized programs. So if you're part of a business or an organization out in anywhere in our community and you want to do something, you want to train up or skill up your employees or bring in new people, these are the folks to talk to. They're the ones that can help make it happen. And they work very closely with all aspects, both the non-credit and the credit side of things, if you're kind of familiar with that world. So Kyla Dow is someone who works very closely with them on the workforce alignment side of things, helping these things happen, helping make our students better and make our communities better. Real briefly, I'm going to share, there are websites for both sites. So they're pretty straightforward to go to, ivytech.edu/Princeton and then /Tell City. And so they just have some basic information about the sites, some videos here. It's a little weird on why it's slid over there, but some information, location information. There are even scholarships that are specific to some locations as well. So you can see there's one specific to Princeton's site, and then also links to a number of other pieces of information that are available to you. But again, the ivytech.edu/Princeton or /Tell City. And again, you can see some details and some information, some links, scholarships that are specific to those two places that can help. And of course, they're part of the Evansville campus. So anything that's being there, they're all part of Ivy Tech as a whole. So there's no difference in the courses and the system. It's all the same thing. It's just a matter of convenience for you as a student on where do you go take the class at. Is it at a site that's right next door to you in Tell City or Princeton, or is it a little bit more of a drive out here to Evansville? They can help you. They're there for you as a resource. As we kind of round out the end here. Is there anything else you want folks to know about the sites, or information I didn't get to with my questions about the sites, or about yourselves that you want people to know?
Katie, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So I just, being new, I come up with a fresh perspective, and I'm just incredibly impressed by Ivy Tech and their organization, and what we can offer in these little bitty communities. So, like Joe said, we're really close. We are available here for any students or any prospective students. If if a degree is not on your radar and you just need some skills before you apply for jobs, we can help you with that too. We have CNA certifications. We'll have QMA coming up soon. We always have a full slate of welding classes, so those are always available here. And then our industrial technology program partners closely with employers, so we know that the skills that we're teaching here are the ones that they're looking for their employees. And the time and the energy you put into training yourself now will pay off, in your potential earnings as an employee, and get you into some, better positions, get you some career options. And that's what we're really here for.
I just wrap up by saying, recapping a couple of things we talked about. Take advantage of the region, because we do a little bit more with the credit, non-credit combined together than other regions do. So that is a plus that gives more flexibility to run classes, allows us to get the numbers that we need to make those classes happen over some of the other areas. The other thing that I would say and stress is, regardless if it's because of a lack of resources or because it's a discomfort in your life to try to go to a big campus, whether it's because of the pandemic or whether it's because of just personality or upbringing, whatever the case is, these sites can be that transition in between, where you're not going to be bombarded with a lot of folks in the same classroom. If you want the smaller classes, more personal attention, take advantage of those sites, take advantage of the technology. Because of the outlying areas around us, not everybody has the constant Wi-Fi signal. Maybe there wasn't enough money in the coffers this year to buy that laptop to be able to take the online classes. Well, guess what? You can still come here and take the online classes. We can talk about online, we can talk about virtual, we can talk about face-to-face, we can talk about blended. He's going to get into that in the next podcast. So, but you can do that here. It doesn't all just have to be face-to-face with the instructor in the classroom with you. We have all those other options also. So take advantage of them. Don't put things off.
All right. Thank you. So, as always, if you have questions, we have two wonderful folks here that you can reach out to and get connected to if you're in the area, have any interest, and if you have interests beyond that, you can always reach out to me as a resource here on the main campus. I can get you connected to either one of these folks or other relevant staff members. But October 26th, still plenty of time, over a month away for you to apply if you haven't done that yet, or if you're in the middle of doing assessments, need to get the knowledge assessments finished, all of that fun stuff. If you need to get financial aid taken care of, now is the time to do it. You have plenty of time to get it done now. We are doing an express enrollment week starting next week. So it'll be a virtual express enrollment week. You can take part in that and get help virtually in a Zoom kind of format like this, or a phone call if you're a little bit more comfortable in that way. You can reach out to us, and there's information on our website, ivytech.edu/express enrollment, and we can help you get things finished. But there are plenty of classes available for second 8 weeks if you want to get started. At this point, you can also get your spring term registered for as well. So you can get two birds with one stone, as they say, and be completely enrolled, get everything finished, and get started on getting a better career and a better life. Thank you both, Katie and John, for joining us today. Let us know if you have any questions, and in the chat, we'll post your contact information if anybody has anything they want to reach out to you for.
Thank you.
And that's it. Thank you.
Thanks.